Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, wow. I didn't realize we'd have 25 people. Since it's Saturday, I thought it was going to be like 5 of us and we was just going to cut up and have a good time. But thank y'all so much for joining. I hope everybody's having an amazing December so far. The holiday season is in full swing. We've had With Love Meghan holiday celebration for a couple of days now, clearly, since we're recapping it. And I have been having a really good time. I watched it again this morning as I was like starting my day. It's the perfect holiday show to go into the weekend during December. I mean, it just filled the house with like really nice holiday tunes and just really good vibes, good energy. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about that. If somebody can confirm that y'all can hear me okay, I think you can, but if you could just tell me that you can, that'd be great, because y'all know my microphone will betray me. But anyway, so I broke it down today because I wanted to hear about you guys' favorites. Like, this was such a very well put together special. Every guest brought something special. Every dish that was cooked was relevant to the holiday season, but just delicious overall. It would have been good any other time as well. But I like the selection of dishes. Definitely caught me off guard. I mean, we had gruyères, and then we also had gumbo, and then we had salt cod, and then we also had what was the other one? I'm trying to think of the reindeer chow. Like, we had a wide variety of things that were displayed for the recipes or the foods. Then we had a wide variety of crafts. The music was great. The guests were great. There was a lot going on. So I wanted to go around and hear you guys' opinions on what was your favorite in each category. What was your favorite food that was shown, or the food that you were the most intrigued by? Same for crafts, same for guests. And then I also have a very special little segment, because we can talk about With Love Meghan, the show, and With Love Meghan holiday celebration in a wide array in a wide manner, wide variety of ways. In many manners. So we could talk about it from the aspect of just hostessing. I mean, it offers a lot of tips for being a good hostess, offers a lot of tips for being a good friend. That was actually kind of unexpected. When we first started hearing just like the buzz about With Love Meghan and what the show itself would be, not just the celebration, not the holiday special, but just like in general, I feel like we all knew food would be involved. We didn't really know much about, will they be guests? Will there not be guests? Will this be more about family time? Will this be friendship time? Will this be documenting her work experience? Like, what will this be? And little by little, as we got more information, I feel like we realized we really couldn't put it in a box. I mean, I feel like it's nestled well in the lifestyle category, but I just kind of feel like it's just more than that. I love the aspect of the friendship stuff. She's bringing on people that she just met, and then she's also bringing on lifelong friends and connections and family members. So we really never know what's next. And I love that aspect of the show. And I also love that that element was not missed in the holiday special, which I sincerely thought it was going to just be like friends and family that we never met before through Meghan, or that she never shared publicly, etc. When in fact, it was old friends and new. And again, that's part of what I like about it, is you really can't put it into one lane. It covers a lot. And that's something that I really enjoy. Outside of the guests as well, or outside of the people that she chose as guests, I like that each guest offers something special. So I would never have put Naomi Osaka on the same show that I would put a Tom Colicchio, but it makes perfect sense It makes perfect sense. Each of their segments made perfect sense together for what they were doing, what they discussed, the theme of the show. And I love that they went the extra mile, in my opinion, to make sure each guest brought something special or had a place to kind of show what they were good at and show what their interests were and really show themselves in this capacity. It wasn't about Meghan, it was Meghan and friends. And so I love that we still get Meghan and that she still also shares the spotlight with the people that she's allowing to come on as guests and sharing a little bit about them too. Some of those stories that Tom Colicchio told, first of all, he's just a very funny storyteller. So it was really nice to hear him and Meghan sharing, because that's something I talked about her a couple of times, is like, she can tell a good story. She is really good at telling stories. But so is Tom Colicchio. So that little ping pong of conversation was probably my favorite part of his segment, outside of the hairy of it all. And we'll get there. But outside of that, I just love that each person had something to offer. Naomi Osaka talked about being a mom. And you know what's so interesting is, because, like I said before, I'm an older millennial, I will forever see her as like a little precious young lady. And so when she was talking about being a mom, I was like, you are a mama. Like, I'm not even that much older than her. She's just precious. And so I love that we got to see a little bit about them and each guest and what they do for the holiday season. And it tied in perfectly with the show, and it all flowed really well. And so I wanted to hear you guys' opinions about your favorites in each category. And then we're going to have a Sussex style next week, because I was working on it to include it in the live stream and realized we would be here for a really long time if I included the commentary into this live stream with everything else. So I was like, no, they have the weekend to get back to. Let's break it up into pieces. So anyway, before we get started, if you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to, or live stream, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and feel free to share so that more people can join us. We have 43 people in the room. All right now. Thank y'all so much for joining. And I'm so sorry we had to move this back a day. My computer crashed yesterday. If that doesn't feel like a real 1990s problem, I was like, I cannot believe you are showing out. I was sitting there literally looking at it just go through its paces on the screen, and I was getting so bitter. I was like, how dare you betray me on the day I'm supposed to be with my people? I was very offended. But anyway, we're going to get to the first segment. Before we do, I have a question to ask. Let me pull the question. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, there we go. Now, I have one question to ask. Light up the live chat with your response, and we'll check out some of them and talk about them on the other side of the first segment. What is your favorite or a notable Christmas Eve or holiday Eve tradition, however you celebrate? What's something special that you and yours do that may not be the norm, but it is super special to you? Y'all let me know in the comment section below.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Darling.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
The food. So, like I said, that was some of the most impressive displays of recipes that I have seen. I really enjoyed the Gruchères, I have to be honest. That really impressed me, partially because I like to say Gruyere. It's very superficial reason, but they look delicious. And judging by the way Will Gadara was just eating them, and Meghan too, and then of course the crew, something tells me they lived up to their name. Definitely looked delicious. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank y'all so much for answering the question. I'm about to definitely get to some of these answers. But yeah, the food looked so good. And then here's the problem though. The only problem I have is that watching Meghan do it, it just looks so simple. Like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. You can just do this and carry on a conversation, just have a good time. Not everybody ain't able. So I'm going to make an attempt to make the gruyères later on this month, and I'm going to document it as well as document the first bite, and I will let you guys know how that turned out, and I'll definitely share it. I'm nervous, but the way she did it, I genuinely feel like I should have some success there. I'm pretty sure I will be able to follow along. But were you guys just as impressed with the food? Which was the best food, or the one that stood out to you that you were the most impressed by? And have y'all tried any of these? Because I'll tell you one thing. I think I said it in my other recap. That cinnamon star, the way she made it kind of reminded me of bear claws. And if that's the case, if it tastes anything like bear claws, it's delicious. But I'm definitely going to try that. And I think because I know how to make a bear claw, that one should be the most simple for me to try to replicate. And I love cinnamon. And honestly, anytime you put cinnamon and butter on something, it's probably going to be a win. It's probably going to be a win. All right, let's get to some of you guys' comments. Hi, Renee Thomas. Renee Thomas says, I want to know who got to buy the chocolate. Great question. How many of y'all got to buy the chocolate or anything from As Ever? How many of you guys are going to be getting holiday items from As Ever? Y'all let me know. Hi, Mina Ruth. It's always great to see you. Mina Ruth says, I would love to make that cinnamon star roll that she made on the show. It looked so good. It did. It looked really good. Gosh, and it was so big. It was really big. That's actually the kind of thing that you have over, like as an aunt myself, that you would make when your nieces and nephews are coming over and you want them to have something to kind of pick at and nibble on, especially if you're already cooking. Oh my gosh. Because for some reason, whenever my niece and nephew come over, or at least when they were younger, and I would cook, the more they could smell the food, the more impatient they were getting. So having something that they can munch on is genius. That's the best way to go. Even my little cousins, one time I made this big Mother's Day spread and I had like little hors d'oeuvres here and there just sprinkled about, but I vastly underestimated the power of children. Wasn't nothing left. Not even the shrimp, like even the things that I didn't think the kids would be interested in because they had their own little hors d'oeuvres and then the adults had their own. Those kids mowed through that bar and just tore it all up. And that's what it was there for. So they did right. But it was just so funny because I was like, yeah, I vastly underestimated their little tummies because they were going to town. Hi, Christina. Christina says, past tradition, cooking with my mother in preparation for the next day. She passed 13 years ago and the tradition lay with her. It's just not the same. Well, I'm really, really sorry to hear that and may she rest and my condolences. But what do you do now? Instead, did you replace it with a different tradition? Do you just kind of leave that space open and just like honor of her? Feel free to share if you would like to. But cooking the next day, cooking in preparation for the next day, that was always fun with my grandma too. My grandma passed when I was 14. And something I would always do with her on Christmas Eve if I was there at her house, or Thanksgiving Eve, I was always with her for Thanksgiving. That was mandatory. I was going to be at my grandma's. But cooking the night before was fun because one, especially for my grandma, she didn't stay up late that often, but the night before a holiday is like I got her in like secret time. Like this wasn't something she would often do. So it was like special that we were staying up late and cooking. And she would always give me these like random menial tasks that made a big deal in her recipes and in her spread. For example, when she had me count all the marshmallows in the bag and then put them in a jar, it was imperative that she had a certain number, but she couldn't tell me the number of marshmallows she needed until I was done counting and told her my count. So the whole time I'm counting, and I was really small and learning to count past 100 too. So that was like a big deal for me to be like, it's 118, grandmother, and like really be proud of myself. And it would always just be the number I needed or the number she needed. Imagine that. And so she was like, I guess you magic. You must be my lucky charm. She was giving me something to stay out of her way because if not, I was going to be eating her biscuits and nobody else would have any. I know what she was up to. But anyway, the day before preparation, it was always so fun. I always loved that energy in the kitchen. I love my grandparents or my aunts and uncles would get off work early and then come join us. Oh, it always just felt like a secret world because they weren't buttoned up like normal. It's just always fun. So I definitely resonate with that as well. Thank you so much for sharing. Hi, John Jenkins. It's nice to see you. John says, SharionSade, getting the actual Christmas tree, which is a tradition that my parents used to do. And happy holidays to all squatties globally. Happy holidays to you too. Oh, wow. So do you get an actual tree, like a real tree, or do you like just go pick a tree? Because I call my tree a real tree. It's not like... I only call it that because it is so freaking realistic. It is huge, and they have those little things in them that make them smell like it's not a real tree. I've had this tree for years and it still look the same. Must be a magic tree. But we picked our tree out a couple of years ago, and then we eventually had it turned black to go with our crystal decor. So we not fooling nobody anymore. But I've always been curious about getting a real or just an alive tree. I've heard something about the sap, but other than that, I've heard how beautiful it is and how well it makes the house smell. But please feel free to let me know. Do you get a real tree? And if so, do you chop it yourself? Like, what's that process like? Hi, Veronica Quick. It's good to see you. Veronica Quick says, the whole show was amazing, Sharion, and all the food was yummy looking, and you want to, let's see. Oh, and the craft I want to do are the crackers. Yes, that looked fun and easy too. That looked really fun and easy. I like little things like that I can kind of do and make them in bulk. Or as Will Godard said, the bad pancake. You got to be careful about that bad pancake. Hi, Moving in Silence. Moving in Silence says, I'm with H on that salad. I'm going to be honest, that salad looked good to me. I wonder if he tried a little bit just to challenge his taste buds, because I can tell you this. And Lord knows I don't like telling my husband he's right about anything. I feel like that's a cardinal rule. They're never right. The husbands are never right. But even a broke clock is right twice a day. But something my husband teases me about is I will vehemently state that I don't like something because the last time I tried it, I hated it. But then as time has gone on, I have not gone back to double check if maybe I've changed my mind. And he has just happened to have been present every single time I realized my mind had changed. And he is quick with an I told you so. And also, if you're engaged or about to get engaged, put it in your vows that they can't say I told you so. Trust me. It's been 13 years of, wonder who could have told you that. And it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I can't stand and I told you so. So make sure y'all do what I didn't, and make sure you remember to tell him to keep it on the playground. But yeah, I've gone back and checked a couple of things where I'm like, I do not like that. And I'll go back and I'm like, actually, this is kind of nice. So I wonder if he tried it. It looks so good. I really want to try that salt cod. I like fish. I like seafood in general, but I really, really, really love fish. I love cod. I love whitefish. And that salt cod looks good. And it looks kind of simple in the recipe, but I will be honest, there's so much complexity in those simple things that it makes me a little nervous to try. Let's see. Hi, Veronica Quick. Veronica Quick says, I want to do the cinnamon star and the gumbo. Same. I'm definitely doing that gumbo. I make gumbo only like 4 times a year, and it's upon request. I try not to do it too much because, one, if I do something that I love too much, I might get tired of it. And so I try to do it on special occasions. But I really want to try Meghan's recipe because I have a Cajun recipe. So I would love to try Meghan's as well because based on everybody's reactions, it's good. So I definitely want to try that as well. Hi, Tamiko. It's good to see you. Tammy says, yes, Sharion, that's what it looks like, a bear claw. Yes, it definitely did. And oh my gosh, but she made her own dough. I have to be honest, and I'm going to be honest and confess, whenever I've made bear claws, I use the pre-made biscuits and then I flatten the dough. Then I make it from that. And you know what? I'm not proud. But if I do it Meghan's way, I'm definitely going to try to make my own dough. It's time that I start challenging myself to get better in the kitchen with those kinds of things. I can cook all day, every day, but I am just not the best at baking. I think I've shared the story of me trying to make biscuits. Me and Pillsbury have been locked in ever since. Just, I know my strengths. That's just not one of them. Hi, Joan Garcia. It's great to see you. Joan says, I got one of each of the 3 chocolate bars and had to be very quick. Yeah. I mean, is that not the as ever way? It's a lot of people real quick to make those purchases. So you got to go in there ready to throw some bows. You might not get anything. Hi, Christina. Christina says, gonna try the cinnamon star gumbo without shrimp, a wreath, and the baby quiches. Yes. I keep forgetting the baby quiches, but those look so good. And that baked pear. I have never really been one for pears. I've seen people do baked apples and things like that, but I've never really been one for pears. But again, that's one of those things that I want to challenge myself and say, maybe I just didn't have it at the right time. My taste buds weren't developed, or maybe I didn't have it in the right way. So that's definitely something I want to try. I kind of feel like I need to just have a day where I pick one season or one group of shows or episodes and make everything from those episodes and just go down the line and taste test and see if I like them or how I feel about them. I feel like that would be a really fun challenge, but I'm going to wait for a little while after I'm off my weight loss plan, because I feel like that might be a little derailment down to a place that I don't need to be going back to, which is overeating. Hi Tammy. Tammy says I missed out on the chocolate bar. Oh my gosh. That's okay. We know we'll get some more. Did anybody get the bookmark? I thought that was so cool. And I love that one of them says I fell asleep here. That's me all day. I have a little book by my bed that I keep one there. So as soon as I finish that one, I replace it with another one and I read about 20 minutes before bed every night. And there have been some nights where I woke up, the book on my face, and I'm just like, okay, girl, like, you got to start being honest when you're getting sleepy. Thank you so much, Tamiko. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to continue our discussion on the other side. Next, we're going to take a look at some of the crafts from the holiday celebration. But before we do, in the comment section, feel free to share the answer to the next question. What is your Christmas morning tradition? And I'll share mine too. I didn't even share my Christmas Eve. So before we get into the crafts, I'll share Christmas Eve. Since that was the question. So for Christmas Eve, we open one gift. It's always pajamas. Always. It's not a surprise. But we open one gift. It's always pajamas. And we watch Annabelle's Wish. And my Christmas Eve meal for years, since I started dating my husband, has been fried chicken. I do a special Christmas Eve fried chicken with a little glaze. It is amazing. It will knock you out because it's flour and grease. So we sleep really well on Christmas night, and then we wake up refreshed. And then I will give my Christmas morning routine. But yeah, we watch Annabelle's Wish every Christmas Eve, and we eat fried chicken. And a lot of times I'll make a chocolate cake for the night before or for Christmas Eve just to kind of nibble on. And so we'll either have a chocolate cake with white icing or cream cheese icing, or a chocolate cupcake with white icing or cream cheese icing. So yeah, Christmas time is very unhealthy for me. And I indulge and I love every second of it. I make no apologies. I have never replaced any of my Christmas or Christmas Eve traditions with something healthier, because it's not the time for that. Especially since it's cold, you really need sugar and grease and things that are fried to keep you warm. It's imperative. It's science. It's above me now. It's science. So you guys let me know, what are your Christmas morning traditions? Okay, so the crafts look a lot like a lot of fun. Something that I said on my other recap was that my Neverland Ranch would be her craft room. I mean, it just looks like everything is in there, lining the shelves, cabinets, the whole tabletop. It just looks like a wonderland. So anyway, I mean, I just want to tour it. If Meghan ever has space for one guest, let me know, girl, and I'm happy to come and check out that craft room, and I'll do whatever craft you want to do. It just looks like a lot of fun. But I really enjoyed the crafts. I think the craft that really stuck out to me would have to be the festive wrapping, because that's where I need the most help. Everything looked fun, but I really need help learning to wrap well. Like, I can get us by, especially if it's a standard box. I'm good there. But when it comes to the like the kind of oblong shapes, or just like she wrapped a teddy bear. That is information I needed, and I definitely paid close attention. And she seemed like she was just having a good time and being creative and not taking it too seriously. And that's something I have to remind myself. Just because I want something to come out well doesn't mean I have to be neurotic about it. We're learning. So I really enjoyed the festive wrapping. I liked all of it. I would have to say the Santa plates and mug, that is definitely something I am adopting, as well as making an ornament. Every year, my husband, I told him about my idea that I had while I was watching the show, and he loved it, to make one ornament every year that we add to it as we just kind of document our life. I think that'll be fun. But also painting the Santa plate and mug, that would be a lot of fun as well. And I am a person who can always appreciate a good drinking vessel. If you get me a teacup, a mug, a tumbler, that is something I will always appreciate, because I will always have a use for it, especially anything chinoiserie. Like I went through this phase where all I wanted was chinoiserie things. So husband bought me this really nice tea set from Ralph Lauren that was this chinoiserie print, and it's like the beacon in my little area, my little drinking area, where I wake up and have my hot chocolate or a tea. And I have this little half-size break front with all the different mugs that I've gotten over the years and tea sets, and I freaking love it. So anything with a drinking vessel. So I think that's a craft that would go along with an interest of mine as well. But what crafts stuck out to y'all? Let me get to some of y'all's answers. Oh, okay. Yes. Let's get back to the answer to the question I asked as well. What is your Christmas morning tradition? Hi, Moving in Silence. Moving in Silence says Christmas morning is fried oysters and cornbread. If you ever have an empty chair and you just want someone to fill it and maybe test the food, make sure nothing's poison and nothing's gone bad. You just need somebody to taste the food before it goes out to your loved ones. I'm always happy to be your crash test dummy. You just say the word, because fried oysters and cornbread, we're locked in. That sounds freaking amazing. You done got me hungry right now. That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. I love Cajun food. I love fried food. I love seafood. This is all things. This is all my loves in one dish. Oh my gosh. That sounds so good. Hi, John Jenkins. John Jenkins says, I'm early on Christmas morning and drink hot cocoa, open one gift, and watch the movie White Christmas starring Bing Crosby. I started that when I was very little, and I carry on their tradition. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm assuming you mean your parents that started that as well. That sounds like an amazing tradition. That's so funny you would share that, because I've been kind of playing with my Christmas mornings. I don't really have a set routine. Every year we're kind of like, what do you want to do first? But one thing that I have to do is have hot chocolate and watch Jingle Jangle. Prior to Jingle Jangle, I used to watch the Santa Claus. Now I watch them both. But every Christmas morning, I used to watch the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I hate that man is part of my Christmas tradition. But two of my favorite Christmas movies, Christmas with the Cranks and the Santa Claus. But I forgive him every year on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then we back beefing on December 26th. But anyway, I watched the Santa Claus, and then I also watched Jingle Jangle, which, oh my gosh, that is the perfect Christmas morning movie, because it just makes so much noise. I have never watched White Christmas, but I have had it recommended several times. So this year will be the first year that I watch it. I will certainly report back with my findings, but if you recommend it, John, we've been aligned on everything else. I trust your judgment. But that sounds like an amazing, slow, peaceful Christmas morning, which is what I like. I also have to have hot chocolate, which is so funny because I lived in Florida for 8 years. So I had to intentionally make the house cold and then have my hot chocolate. I was going to have that vibe. I had to have it. All right, let's see. Here we go. Okay, sorry, you guys. Okay. I'm Moving in Silence. Moving in Silence says baked pears are great. Okay. We make those instead of baked apples all the time. Okay. I can't wait to try it. I mean, it certainly looked like everybody had a reaction. And something that maybe I missed it, but I did not hear them mention, was the yogurt had Meghan's flour sprinkles in them. I noticed that as soon as I saw them pull out the yogurt, I was like, oh, it has flour sprinkles. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm going to certainly try it, and I'll definitely try it with the yogurt. Hi, Joyce Bose. It's great to see you. Joyce Bose says, I got 2 of each of the chocolate bars. Oh my God, you must have been pretty quick. Good for you. We were all struggling. I don't think I got 1 chocolate bar, but I didn't get anything else. And I was trying to order like a couple of things that I saw were not out of stock. And By the time I made my second order, the rest of the stuff that I wanted was gone. But y'all know I try to do one thing at a time on the day of, when things drop the same day, do one thing at a time so that my cart doesn't sell out, because that has happened to me before. So I was only able to get one chocolate bar, but that just gives me something to look forward to. Hi, Christina. Christina says, Douglas fir was the tree of choice in my childhood. It smells exquisite. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, see, listen, because I'm not a real tree person, I don't know the names of many of them. Douglas fir is the one that I always hear about. So it must come highly recommended. Is it special? Is it like the grand poobah of all of them? Let me know. But I need to smell that. Christina says, I let out an agonizing scream when I discovered the chocolates were sold out. Oh, no. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, that inventory is going to go fast from as ever. Hi, Janine Bell. It's good to see you. Janine says, we always cook with family the night before, but we had steak and chicken because we have summer. Oh, okay. Nice. Steak and chicken's not bad. I like a nice variety. Hi, Christina. Christina says, I'm all about getting the fixings to make a glorious, fragrant wreath this year. Ooh, nice. I bet that's going to be fun. I need to try that. I've never put a wreath on my door, and I'm not even against it. I always say I'm going to do it and decorate my front door and all that, and I never do. And I have an aunt who she's like, that is her thing. Like, she is all about the holidays. She decorates for everything. Easter, Christmas, Christmas Eve. Like, she actually differentiates. Like, she loves decorating. She's just so good at all that stuff. And I want to get more festive and get more into it, and I never remember to. The tree, I have that down. And the living room, I'll decorate that in the dining room. But as far as like putting lights up and all that, I always forget. It seems like the holiday season just goes so fast. Hi, Tammy. Tammy says her tree was so beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. And I like the gold decor. I love a good metallic decor. I love that. I thought that was so pretty and very warm. But I have to say, what took the cake was that little guy ornament. I love how she still incorporates him. Like, that is her baby. That was her son. And I love that she does not leave him out of anything. Oh my goodness. I love too that as a mom, she still shows how important it is to show up as a dog mom. Because I have had so many people like tell me, because I am a serious schnauzer mom, and they be putting me through it. They are sweet kids, sweet little fur babies, but they're kind of bad. But they're sweet to me. But y'all know, any kind of miniature terrier, it's gonna be a problem. So anyway, I've had so many people say like, oh, when you have kids, you're not gonna have time to do all this stuff for your dogs. And I'm like, who's not? You mean my first two children? Absolutely not. I've had my schnauzer for 15 years. He is incorporated into my world. He's definitely gonna always be present. So is my little munchkin, Rosalind. If y'all follow me on social media, y'all know Rosalind be putting me through it. But anyway, she's a sweetheart, but she loud. But anyway, yeah, I love that she still incorporates her pets, and they're just as much part of the family as any other time, even though she has children too. I always see having kids or just incorporating any other entity into your household as expanding the family, not deprioritizing. I just see that as an opportunity to expand. So it was so nice to see, guys. Ornament. But then, now listen, I thought all we were going to get of Guy was the ornament. And then for us to end up seeing Guy in that kitchen, when I tell you, I had a tear in my eye. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know if he was still here when they shot these episodes. And so it was so nice to see him. And he was right there putting in that cinnamon star. I told y'all that was Guy's cinnamon star and Guy's recipes. Debate me if you want, but I genuinely feel like he was the one that gave her those recipes. He was watching her like a hawk. Okay, let's see. Hi, Tamiko. Tammy says, I love homemade hot chocolate for Christmas morning and Christmas parade. Ooh, a Christmas parade. I've never done that. That sounds fun. My sister was in one, and so was my mom. They both won Christmas theme at different times. So my sister won when she was in kindergarten. And my mom was Christmas theme when she was in high school, and their pictures. I've never actually been to a parade. They rode in a float and everything, and I have the pictures, but I was never there. But that sounds like a lot of fun. Do they do like the same kind of things at a normal parade? Like, do they throw anything from the float? Let me know. That sounds like a good time. Hi, Mina Ruth. Mina Ruth says, watching A Christmas Story is my thing every Christmas. And of course, opening up presents. Yes, we haven't even mentioned opening presents, y'all. I have to watch A Christmas Story every year, or it doesn't feel like Christmas happened. I missed 1 year in college because I didn't have cable and we didn't have streaming when I was in college the first time. Tells you all you need to know about how old I am. But we didn't have streaming when I was there the first time. So if you didn't have cable or have it on DVD, you didn't have it. And I did not get a chance to watch it. And I swear it felt like such a weird holiday season. I have to watch it. You know, my husband had never seen it before last year. Never. When I made a little reference to him about it was really cold. And I was like, so don't let me cold when he left. And he was like, why would I do that? He was so disturbed. He was like, excuse me? And I was like, no, that's not code for anything else. I'm literally saying. And so I was like, have you not seen A Christmas Story? And he was like, no. And I was like, so a red wagon means nothing to you. A BB gun doesn't matter. A leg lamp, not your thing. And he was like, are we still speaking English? He was genuinely like, girl, what? What's happening here? Are you having a stroke? When he first watched it, and then the sequel, they made a sequel with the original cast as adults. When we watched both of those, he was like, why haven't I seen that before? And I was like, I don't know, but that's technically childhood. You kind of have to see that to have a childhood. It's such a good movie. But yeah, that's good. Hi, Joyce Post. Joyce Post says, it's a wonderful life, a great movie. Great movie, great lesson, excellent acting, iconic story. In no notes, absolutely. I could not agree more. Okay, so we're gonna get to the next segment. Now we have to talk about the guest. If you had a favorite guest or a guest segment that was just really special to you or stood out to you, feel free to let me know. I'm on the fence. I liked every guest. All the guests were great. And I like something different about each guest. I love the camaraderie with her best friends. I love seeing the three of them together. Good girl time is always going to have my heart. I loved her energy with Naomi Osaka. Like I said, it reminded me of when I'm spending time with my niece. But I have to be honest. I adore Tom Colicchio. I think he's just such a cool human being. But my favorite guest, when I really zoomed out and thought about it, was Will Guidara. Will and Meghan had so much in common. The way they were finishing the sentences, there was just this comedy throughout the whole episode or throughout the whole segment. They were just cracking jokes back and forth, and they just had such a light, witty banter. And when he called his wife part of it as well, I loved everything about it. But Will himself, he is very funny. When they found that car for him, I thought Will was gonna hug that lady. He was so excited, but it was, as Meghan said, unreasonable hospitality. But yeah, it was very, very cool that they went above and beyond to find that for him. But I really like Will Guidara as a guest. So the next segment is guest. Y'all let me know which was your favorite guest of the show or this special.
Rolo. There we go.
I love it.
This is great.
Kept experimenting and then read your book, and it demystified that it didn't have to be that complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious. Fantastic.
Okay, so I have to take back what I said. Although I did enjoy Will Guidara, if we're going to consider Harry a guest, then he was my favorite guest. I loved their banter, and I loved how Tom Colicchio was just enjoying the moment with them. He seemed super relaxed. I really liked seeing the three of them together, but it seemed like Tom and Harry hit it off really well too. I would love to see them become friends. That's just just me. I'm projecting onto these people. But I would love to see them become friends. Every guest brought something special, and I really enjoyed the differences in the conversation. It wasn't just like cut and dry and like copy paste. Do you like the holidays? Like if she was engaging with her guests. I mean, we're talking about Meghan here. She was engaging with her guests. They had fun. Oh gosh, the music got loud, didn't it? They were engaging. They were having fun. They cooked really interesting dishes. No two people had like the same type of dish. And I like how much thought and consideration Meghan put into the different dishes. Like for Naomi Osaka, since she's a professional athlete, she did a very healthy dish. Clearly, Will Guidara, as a restaurateur, he likes food and he likes it, good and hearty. The way he was tearing up those gruyères, same. I would have been doing exactly the same. They would have been trying to talk to me and make me go to the next thing, and I would have been like, just one more. It looked so good. I mean, that's what happens when you cook well. When Meghan asked Tom, do people get intimidated? And he's like, I don't get invited many places. I would have assumed the same thing. The fact that she's so confident in the kitchen, one, that's a testament to her ability, but also she doesn't get intimidated, because I cook well, I think. And there's some things I've been cooking since I was 7 years old. The first thing I learned to make was fried chicken. It's quite possibly the hardest thing that I make, because I've taken quite a few grease pops to the face. Learning the heat management on grease, especially when working with new stoves, has been a lifelong lesson for me. So I love making different types of fried chicken and things like that since I was 7 years old. So there are things that I've been cooking my whole life. Greens, like cornbread. I've been making a lot of really different foods my whole life. Lobster. But if I were standing next to Tom Colicchio, my brain would go completely blank and I would be like, I don't know nothing. I wouldn't even say nothing. I would just be like, I don't know nothing. I can't cook. You want ramen? Like, I would not cook in front of that man. And not even consciously. I just feel like I would get so overwhelmed that my brain would go completely blank and it would not offer anything up for me to cook. So for Meghan to not only have been perfectly comfortable in the kitchen, but to churn out that gumbo and impress the top chef judge, in my world, in my delusion, I'm now just going to say, you know what? That technically means Meghan won Top Chef. That's just how I see that. Now, if you want to argue with me, that's fine. But technically, Meghan is a Top Chef now. And I'm here for it, because that gumbo did look Top Chef worthy. Oh, my goodness. I would love to see, if she continues the show, I would love to see her have maybe some more Top Chef alums on the show. Or maybe Padma. Oh, my God. I would love to see them interact. Two very classy ladies in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Y'all did not come here for my projections. But anyway, that was such a good segment. But Harry and Meghan ribbing each other was unexpected and greatly appreciated. They had me rolling. I showed that to my husband the other day and he was laughing. He was like, oh, he's gonna pay for that. I was like, well, no, he was just paying it back. Did you hear her roast him about that salad? She was like, oh, it's your favorite salad of all time. I thought that was so funny. Hi, Tammy. Tammy said Harry is so funny. He is. He has an excellent sense of humor. He seems like a very funny man. And they look like they just have a good time together in general. Hi, Joan Garcia. Joan Garcia says, our parents took us to North Carolina to see grandmother. Oh, so for breakfast, she made bacon, cornbread. Oh my gosh. Scrambled eggs, fried apples, grits, while the turkey dressing, etc. cooked. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. That sounds really good. Did she do this for Christmas, Thanksgiving, or both? Because I will tell you this. I don't eat breakfast on Thanksgiving. We just go right in and we eat Thanksgiving food around like between 11 and 1 usually. But on Christmas Day, I have a full breakfast and I still have room for all the same hearty foods for Christmas. I don't know what the difference is. It's just different. I don't eat breakfast on Thanksgiving, but I go to town 3 times a day for Christmas. And I don't even be caring about the gifts. I'm always just ready to get to the food. Hi, Mina Ruth. Mina Ruth says, wow, it's such a classic. I love that movie. I think you're talking about It's a Wonderful Life, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to let me know. But yes, if so, that is a very wonderful movie. My grandfather used to love that movie too. Hi, Veronica Quick. Veronica says, it was so sweet to see Guy. Oh, it was. I think Meghan's intention is to make me cry because she wins every time. Because my gosh, his little face and that little ornament. It was so great to see him. Hi, Joyce Vose. Joyce Vose says she may be invited to one of the Top Chef episodes. I didn't even think about that. But she has done other things like that before. She's done several cooking show panels as a guest judge. That's right up her alley. And now that we have the judge of all Top Chef judges, I can only see that as a reciprocal experience. I would love to see that. Good idea. I love that. If they didn't have that idea before, I hope they credit Joyce Vose for that, because she definitely put out a great idea. Hi, Joan. Joan says, Sharion, I loved all the guests, but for me, the best guest was Prince Harry at the end. He was a hoot. He had me cracking up. And you can tell he did not plan to say that. Somebody asked the question on Threads. They were like, Meghan seemed surprised to see Prince Harry walk in. So is it possible that he wasn't planning to be present until he smelled the gumbo cooking and was like, let me roll up in this kitchen? And when I tell you, that thread had me crack it up, but I was also like, whoever wrote this thread probably has a husband, because that's exactly how they do. They be claiming they're going to stay in the living room, watch TV, or they had something, just a pressing matter. My husband's thing is, we got to take a work call. I have to take a work call. I have never heard him wrap up a work call faster than when I take something out of the oven. I could be in the living room and be like, oh my gosh, I think I'm about to pass out. And he'll be like, let me wrap this up in a gradual sense. I could be like, oh my gosh, Santa Claus is coming through the living room. And he will be like, okay, let me wrap this up gradually. The moment I pull a cake out of the oven, he runs through the wall. Like, you don't even open the door. It's like a Jonathan-shaped hole in my wall when I take stuff out of the oven, because if he can smell it, that call is ending. And I'm like, I hope they weren't talking about like some big deal or something that will make a lot of money. He'd be leaving money on the table for a $3 cake. He does not care. So when I read that thread about, was Harry supposed to be there, or did he smell that gumbo and was like, I'm going to be in there? You're not going to stop me? I was like, probably. He seemed like he wanted that gumbo, and he got exactly what he deserved, a big old beautiful bowl of gumbo. I wish I could have had some. Does Harry not like seafood? Because now I'm kind of remembering she said to Chef Jose Andres that he doesn't like lobster either. And then, of course, well, maybe he just doesn't like certain types of seafood, because fish doesn't seem to be an issue. But he also didn't like the shrimp. And I have heard things about the royals and protocols of like not eating a lot of seafood when they are on engagements or abroad. But is that just not at all? Do they just not do seafood that often? I'm curious about that. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm curious. Hi, Joan. Joan says for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh, wow. I mean, it makes sense, but that sounds like a really great tradition. And somebody mentioned that a lot of people have grandparents that live in the South. I live in the South, so obviously mine are here. But I didn't realize just how many people travel to the South for the holiday season, because a lot of grandparents live down here. I think that's so interesting, because I'm already here. But a lot of my friends from up north, whenever I check in with them around the holiday season, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm in Texas now. Let's link up." And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And it's because their grandparents live here. So I think that's so interesting that you guys also travel to North Carolina for Christmas as well. That's so interesting. Hi, Mina Ruth. Mina Ruth says, I was talking about A Christmas Story, but It's a Wonderful Life is a good movie as well. Yeah, okay. So I just find It's a Wonderful Life to be such a nice and classy movie to put on, especially when you have mixed company. Like if you have kids, if you have families, if you don't know what the mood is going to be, I think that's a really great movie, because it doesn't have too many secular themes. It's just a really nice movie. But A Christmas Story, that lamp alone, is inappropriate. That movie gives me the most inappropriate laughs. I've seen that movie at least 36 times at this point, and I laugh out loud every single time as if it's the first time I watch it. It's such a funny movie. And that little boy, to be so young, is such a good actor. He was out there fighting. I mean, that movie has everything. I didn't like the dad. Still don't. I thought when I got older I would like the dad. I never liked the dad. I still don't like the dad, but I find the rest of the movie to be very, very funny. Meghan was once a judge on Top Junior before Harry. I think she'd be right at home on Top Chef. She absolutely was. If you have not gotten a chance to see my Thanksgiving compilation, I actually included the segment from the episode, or I included a few segments from her episode of Top Chef Junior as well. She was a really good judge, and something I loved about her on Top Chef Junior specifically is how, or Chopped Junior, is how empowering she was. Her feedback was so kind, because some of those judges can be a little rough on the babies, but she would give honest but very loving and empowering feedback, and they always walked away like mission minded rather than cut down. I thought she was right at home on that panel. I thought she did such a good job. Hi, Colette McCullough. It's good to see you. Okay, head out to your Christmas function. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I will see you on the replay. Hi, Joan Garcia. Joan says, I would love to see Meghan have Carla Hall on an As Ever episode. Oh my God. Carla P. Hall. I love her. She has such a beautiful energy. Her and Tiffany Gary are my two favorite top chefs ever. I love the two of them so much. They're so good. Carla Hall, she just has such a bubbly energy. Her and Tracy Ellis Ross give me the same energy for some reason. I absolutely adore them. That is a good idea. Absolutely. Okay. We have one more segment. I've had y'all here for an hour. Thanks so much for joining and sticking around. I have one more segment. There's so much that you could say about With Love, the show, and With Love, Meghan, the holiday celebration. But something we do not talk about enough is how funny the show is. Like, every episode, Meghan has these funny little clips, and they just come out of nowhere and flow so easily. She is very witty. So the holiday celebration was no different. I decided to compile some of my favorite funny moments from the show. So you guys, let me know, what was your favorite funny moment from the show?
I think start because we're having workspace. Maybe take one last bite and then just move it to the behind you.
Brooklyn Bummer strikes again.
Okay.
How conveniently placed.
I don't understand.
Place the Gouchers closer to the crew.
Exactly. Salt and a little bit of nutmeg. Oh, Lorraine. There's Flo, and then there's Lorraine. Little egg wash on all of them. Dab the gougere.
Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so those funny moments, those are some of my favorite funny moments of the series in general. And it's so funny that most of them were in the holiday celebration. But yeah, Prince Harry caught me all the way off guard with that little jab, but it was very funny. And I love that Meghan was like, oh, you're not going to beat me at my own game. She is the queen of silver linings. She said, what a sweet thing to say about your mother-in-law. And honestly, yeah, you always want to make sure you're good with the mother-in-law. It's a rule. For me, it was my grandfather-in-law. So my husband had to make sure he was always in good graces with him. But for me, it was my mother-in-law, and she was such a sweetheart. So yeah, Harry, you got to do what you got to do to stay in good with the in-laws. It's all good. Now, I will say this, like I said in my recap yesterday or the day before, you cannot make a comment like that and then inhale the gumbo. He practically was a vacuum cleaner to that gumbo. It looked so good. The only thing I will say about it that isn't 100% positive is the fact that those bowls were so small, because if I were there, I absolutely would have asked for a salad size bowl. I would have said, do you have a mixing bowl perhaps? Can I just have the pot? I don't need a spoon. The ladle's already here. I would have taken care of business. It looked so good. I fear the side of me that Meghan's gumbo might bring out. So it's probably best that I never get a chance to try it. I feel like some kind of beastly version of myself would come out when I smelled it, because looking at Tom Colicchio, the way that the moment was building on his face, he went from just casually observing, like, yeah, that's right, this, to just mouth open. I said, you know what? Gumbo will have you like that. So that certainly looked good. Either way, what was you guys' favorite funny moment from the With Love special? Hi, Tammy. Tammy says, I love for Doria to come and cook on the show. I would too. I would love for her to be on the show. First of all, her energy is just so chill. I always love when she speaks. She's so dignified and just so chill. And She likes things just so. I just think she is such an interesting woman. But I would love to see her in the kitchen, especially with some of the things that Meghan has described that she's cooked over the years and like how well she cooks. I would love to see her on the show. And I would just like another moment as a mother-daughter dynamic. I love it when I can see them together on camera or on film or what have you. They have such a special relationship. So I would love that as well. I would have to say my favorite funny moment was Harry. And then after that, I think it's the bad pancake moment because I resonate with that. Every time I make pancakes, there's that nasty, dusty, crusty one that looks like I beat the heck out of it and thumped it out of the skillet. And I'm like, how did you end up like this? I'm so careful. And look at how I cooked all your brothers and sisters. And then here you are just looking like you're barely hanging on. The bad pancake is a personal experience. I feel like me and Will had that in common. Hi, Christina. Christina says, as a guest, I would have brought my own box of Ziploc. Christina, we would be kicked out. They would be like, girl, is that a freezer bag? You know, the big giant ones. I brought my box of Glade trash bags. I'm going to want a lot of that gumbo. I'm sure you got more pots under there. Just make some more, girl. We got this. But I mean, honestly, you can go around throwing around gumbo and expect people not to become the worst versions of themselves. Hi, Veronica. Veronica says the funniest was Meghan's face when Harry said Doria's gumbo was better than hers. She looked genuinely shocked. And the noise Tom Colicchio let out when he cracked up laughing like, oh. No, he didn't. That was such a funny moment. She handled it so well. But I loved how Harry reacted to her response. That was so funny when he goes, I was laughing. Hi, SKT. SKT says, Martha Stewart used to have her mom on her show all the time to cook traditional Polish recipes. Oh, wow. Meghan having Doria on to cook soul food would be chef's kiss. Yes. Now, I have to shout out my mom, too. She doesn't, honestly, I'm going to shout her out, and then I'm going to throw her under the bus. So y'all prepare for a little holiday betrayal. My mom used to make rouladen for us. And as someone who was born in Germany, but my whole family, me, my sister, my mom, and my dad, we lived in Germany for a few years. And my mom learned how to make rouladen there. And so she makes it like traditionally. And she makes it every year. And she stopped because one, as groceries got more expensive, it's a very expensive dish to make. But it cooks a lot for a lot of people. People travel far and wide to come have some. When they know she's making it, people just show up at the door. They don't show up with a hostess gift. They don't show up at an opportune time. They don't even show up invited. They just show up empty in the belly and ready to eat. And so she would always make us rouladen. And since I have been an adult, can you believe that woman has not made me any? I have asked her several times. I've been like, Mama, I will buy all the groceries. I will pick you to get a massage. I will massage your hands myself because you're going to make magic. Will you make me rouladen? And she's like, you cook all the time. Just learn the recipe. And I'm like, need the recipe. But it is a long, time-consuming dish, the way she makes it. But it is so good. And it's one of many German dishes that I eat every year that I freaking love, but I can't make it myself. It's not easy for me to make it myself. So when I know she's cooking, I have to go all the way to her. And I do show up with my own Tupperware and my own Ziploc bags because yes, I am taking the sauce with me and it is going to be fine. So when the moms cook, it's magic. My mom just needs to get on board and make more rouladen food. There's no better way to make me feel spoiled. Hi, Joseph Berno. It's good to see you. Joseph says, hello, dear squaddies. Our faves are surprisingly funny. Is there anything they can't do? Great point. They're very funny. And I love their banter back and forth. I thought that was hilarious. So I have taken up all of y'all's time. Thank y'all so much for joining me for a live stream. Again, I apologize for the delay. So I will be trying to check up on live streams. So I appreciate that patience and being back in the swing of things since the semester is finally over. But you will know my time away has not been for naught. I'm the dean's list again, and I got a 100% in every class. This might be the first time I've ever done that. So we are celebrating. I'm going to Capitol Grill next weekend to celebrate a good semester. Honestly, that's incentive enough. The education is great. But the seared tenderloin with butter poached lobster tails is even better. My husband figured out the code to get me to lock in. But anyway, so now that the semester is over, I'll be able to start back doing live streams for a couple of months or a couple of weeks. amazing. So I look forward to joining with you guys again. We'll do them during the week so you can have the weekend, but I appreciate you making time for me today. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this live. Feel free to share, and don't forget to comment your thoughts along the way and subscribe if you haven't already. Once again, thanks for the support, and I will see you all next